Hello, Kelsey Taylor here. Welcome to another top list video. Now this week I'm going to be talking about top 5 tear-jerking moments in movies. Now I'm going to have to warn you, this is all going to be spoilers. I'm going to link some timestamps in the description of what movies I'm going to be talking about. I'm not going to say what part, I'm just going to say the title of the movies and then tell you the parts that made me tear up. I'm going to rank them in order from which one made me close to tearing up to the one that really made me bawl my eyes out. And fairly rarely I would cry at a lot of movies. Like, I never done that when I was a kid. So a lot of famous ones you're not going to see on this list. I only picked 5 from mainly on the first viewing when I first saw them that had me teared up. And I guess later in life as I grew older, I get more emotionally invested in movies. And yeah, so there were a lot of handful of kids films I never cried at as a kid. So mainly there's just all PG-13 films. They're not like animated ones. Only one documentary, 2 drama films, 1 sequel to a movie that I really liked as a kid, and 1, we'll get to that when we get to number 1. Alright, here are my top 5 tear-jerking movie moments. Number 5, I Can Only Imagine. Now this one just came out. I don't know if any of you have ever seen that one, but it's definitely a must-see movie. It's based on the true story on the song I Can Only Imagine, which I'm sure all of you have heard by now. It's a very popular song, and I highly recommend the movie. The one scene, for those of you who have seen it, like I said, I don't know if any of you did. Again, this is a spoiler-filled video. Was a few things. I guess towards the end where he's singing the song, and you see Dennis Quaid, his father, sitting in the audience, and mainly the one scene, he's on his deathbed talking to his son, and then they play the song Amazing Grace, and then it cuts to his funeral where they sing the song, and it had me close to tearing up. Like, I was literally scratching my eye because it was itching, and I can feel tears. I mean, it almost had me teared up. I mean, the movie is so emotional, and when I was at the screen for it, there were some people sobbing and crying, so they got really invested in that movie too. I highly recommend the movie. I mean, it's definitely a must-see film. Number 4, African Cats. This one is one of the Disney nature documentaries about the lions and the cheetahs, mainly on the families of the lion pride and the cheetahs. The one thing that really got to me that I can actually relate to, I didn't see this movie in theaters. I saw it on DVD. I think around it was right before, might be right after I lost one of my cats. She left the house and wandered off and died in a spot somewhere far away from the house and never came home. There's a scene where one of the mothers, one of the lionesses, was very old, and she was roaring in pain. She couldn't walk anymore, and she actually left the Pride Lands or something to stay somewhere to die, in a lonely spot. And the narrator, I think it was Samuel L. Jackson, this is the part that got to me. I was watching this scene and felt very devastated because I'm a huge lion lover, and seeing this poor lioness getting very weak and very old and roaring in pain, it was so painful to watch. Anyway, the narrator shows, and they have names, but I can't remember right now. And then, at last, she gives up the fight. I was thinking a complete wreck, but it was a very sad scene. And, oh man, that's nature. And, I watched that scene, recently, I don't know, a few months ago, and it's still sad. It reminded me, that's how my cat went. She went somewhere far away to die all alone by herself because she was getting very old and very sick. So, yeah, that's the one movie that had me teared up for that one scene. Number 3, Knowing. I talked about this a few times before. I never said what the ending was because I didn't want to ruin it, though, but this is a spoiler-filled video, so I can finally say it. Knowing is this Nicolas Cage movie about these national disasters are happening, and Nicolas Cage is trying to get to what does that mean. And basically in the 1950s there was a time capsule that was buried at a school, and his son ends up getting, when they dug it up years later, his son ended up getting a piece of paper with all those numbers, meaning the dates of national disasters, how many people die and stuff. At one scene, like towards the end, before the sun rays destroy the planet, Nicolas Cage's only son and one other girl leave from Earth before it's fully destroyed, leaving Nicolas Cage behind. Then you go with all these alien creatures, and I don't know, it's a very, very emotional scene. I actually cry like right after all those scenes, but I remember that scene being very, very sad. I mean, just the fact that Nicolas Cage have to let his only son go, a child, like leave the planet with probably all those other kids before it blows up, leaving Nicolas Cage behind to die, and his only son like leaving Earth, and it was so sad. It was so sad. I haven't watched that movie in a while, but I remember that scene always got to me. And if any of you seen the movie and you never cried at that, I cried at that scene. It is so, it gets me every time. Number 2, Night at the Museum 3. Another one I've not watched in a while, but I remember when I first watched it, I did not see this in theaters. I saw it on DVD, and at the end, it got me. It really, for some reason, it got me. It's like I really enjoyed those characters all throughout the films, and the fact that, you know, it's all over, I don't know. It's just that, I'm not kidding, it literally had me teared up. Like, I was sitting there going, oh God, I can't cry now. But it was, I don't know. I mean, something about the ending has just had me very, very emotionally upset. You know, like this is it. Like, this is the last of the Night Museum movies. And if you've seen the ending, you know what I mean. And also, you know, watching it right after Robin Williams died was very, you know, time insensitive, and yeah, it was not the perfect time to watch that. But yeah, probably that was for another reason. Like, I've gotten over it now, but that ending, I remember, it made me cry. Like, made me really cry. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just that, you know, they're saying goodbye for the last time before they, you know, before they go back to their normal ways. It's just standing statues, not as living people. Man. Alright, here's my number 1 tear-jerking movie moment, and that is Marley and Me. I would have to say this is the very first movie that I recall that when I saw in theaters, watched it for the first time, I was in a wreck. Like a big-ass wreck. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. When Marley dies. I'm a huge animal lover. I like dogs, mainly labs and golden retrievers, like big dogs. I like that. And when Marley dies, when they're burying him at the end, I don't think I cried at anything so hard in my life. I mean, I was in a wreck. I was like, what, 15 when I saw it, so, and I never bothered watching that movie again because it's so depressing. And it's just, I don't know, like, the dog was a troublemaker, but he was likable, and yeah, I kind of had a lab at some point, but not like the type of dog that Marley was in that movie. And years later, I read the book, I think a few years later after that, and I'd rather read the book more than watch the movie again. I mean, it is so damn sad, and I don't know, like if you ever went through this, like you ever had to put a pet down, or you love dogs, like, I wouldn't recommend this movie. Like it's kind of marketed as a kids movie, but I don't think kids would watch it without getting torn up. I mean, that's the one scene that really got to me bad. It's like I never read the book at the time. I didn't know anything about the book beforehand, and it's just the life of this dog. And don't get me wrong, it's a sweet film, but I don't see myself watching it again. Like, I don't want to see, you know, a movie about a dog's life having him die at the end, and that's the ending. You know, that is so sad. Like A Dog's Purpose I saw about last summer, which I thought was going to be a Marley and Me. Thank God it wasn't. I'd rather watch that more than Marley and Me. I mean, it is, I don't know, that one scene always gets to me. I'm sure it got to a lot of people as well. That's the one scene that made me cry. So that's all the top 5 tear-jerking movie moments that I have here. Let me know if you ever teared up by any of these moments, or let me know what other movies that had you teared up. Like certain films, like I never got scarred when I saw Bambi's mother get shot or Simba's father dying. you know, I saw those movies when I was really young, but they didn't make me cry. These are the ones I remember crying at the first viewing. And a lot of these I saw like into adulthood. Like Marley and Me, I saw when I was like 15. That's like the youngest I saw. And then Knowing was the next one. And then African Cats, Night Museum 3, and I Can Only Imagine. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!